All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, you guys see my screen? It says the big update webinar. I'll cut this one out of the replay. I'll cut this part out of the replay. Just good to see you guys. I don't get to spend time with you as much as I'd like to. All right. All right. So let's go. You guys ready? Give me one in the chat if you guys are ready to pop into this. We're going to go through a lot of stuff really, really quickly and crush this thing out. All right. Appreciate you. Very cool. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. And again, I love max participation. You know, the fam knows, my Carbon fam knows. All right, so here's what we got going on. This is what I want to talk about in today's webinar. Again, this will be recorded, will be in the back office. We're going to go through a couple different things. One, the market conditions we find ourselves in. We are at a crossroad at a very strange time. I want to get into those market conditions. I want to get into elite and what we're going to be doing in elite, okay? I want to talk about preparing for the end. What do I mean by that? I'm not talking about the end of the universe or the world or anything. I'm talking about the end of having people in carbon, right? Just the end, just as us. The real opportunity, our legacy play, what we're actually up to, something I have never spoke about publicly. If you're a leader or we've spoken and we've talked about some of this stuff, then you probably know what I'm going to say here, okay? But there is some legacy income, legacy opportunities that we have here at Carbon, and it's going to change a lot of things for you guys, and we're getting to the point where we're going to start executing on that. And the reason why is it has to do with the market conditions and where we are with the markets. So I'm going to show you guys where what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to be releasing just some insights into what we have going on, moving forward. Probably ending out this month and moving forward. It's bigger than Elite. It's bigger than anything we've ever done, and that you guys you're just gonna flip out when you see what we're doing. So for those of you who've been with me for a while, when I tell you we have a legacy play here for you, to where we're trying to get you to have a legacy income. If you believe those words, knowing who I am, not just what the platform is, just knowing me as a person. All right, because there's a lot of people who don't know me on this call. Like they're just getting on, they're like, what's this guy doing? For those of you who know me, yes or no, when I tell you I've got a legacy play that can change everything, do you believe that? Just on face value, do you believe that? Right? Let me know. And because we're going to be talking about a lot of that, a lot of this stuff as we move forward. And it is just ridiculous what we're going to be able to do here, guys. I love you guys. This is going to be crazy. I'm going to try to stay calm and cool and collective, because some of the things we have going on here, you're thinking too small, right? Everyone's thinking too small. Okay. So anyway, we'll talk about that later. And then I'm going to get into my not so long-winded thoughts. As we all know, I talk too much. I think everyone understands this by now. I talk way too much. So I'm going to try to get into those not too long-winded thoughts as we end this out. And yeah, again, for those of you guys who are here, who are with us and been with us and are up early in the morning, I appreciate you guys. So let's kick this off. Okay, so first off, market conditions, guys. There's a lot happening in the crypto space and in the world in general, obviously, right? Right now, we find ourselves right here where we are at max fear. Okay, there is maximum amount of fear in the crypto space. Everyone is insanely scared, right? This is the fear and greed index, and it kind of rates where people are. And when you see this in green territory, okay, that means people are greedy. When you see it on this side, it means they're fearful. They're very fear. We are at extreme fear. We don't head to extreme fear very often. This means people are afraid and scared that the markets are going to go to nothing, that Bitcoin's going to go to 20K, it's going to go to 10K, whatever it's going to do, right? They're scared of this, all right? And I just want to put something out here, and I want you guys to kind of live by this when it comes to these markets. Be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. Whenever you see everybody saying that something is going to go to the floor, probably the best time for you to be greedy, okay? Not sit on your hands. When people are saying, we're going to the moon, look, we're going to the moon, okay? Be fearful, because we're probably not. That's when they get caught, okay? So this is the way I look at all this. And to kind of show you where we are as far as Carbon and how we're able to navigate this space, because it is a very strange time. I think you'd all agree, right? Put yes in the chat if this is like a crazy time we're living through. Wars, right? You've got inflation going on. You got stagflation happening. You got Biden in the White House. Biden, God, worst president ever. And here's what's been going on inside of Carbon. Last 72 hours, over $1 billion, guys. $1 billion in liquidations. Now, we had a ZIL liquidation in Carbon. and you guys saw how we're handling that. But no one's had a liquidation in the last 72 hours, but $1 billion. Yes, Twan, I almost want to say that. So you guys seen in 72 hours, there's been $1 billion in liquidations that have happened out there. $1 billion just wiped out of the market in the last 24 hours. At the time that I'm shooting this, I just snapshotted this like maybe 30 minutes ago. $188.53 million in liquidations, guys, in liquidations. But because of the money management we use, we weren't in that. All right. Now we can do better, and we will do better than what we have been doing thus far in carbon. I'm going to show you some of that in here. But I think that it just goes to show you. I mean, you're talking about $1 billion, and it was like 1.3 or something like that. You know, I didn't snapshot it, so I didn't want to put the actual number. But my goodness, just crazy. But we didn't have that, right? So some people get stuck in a trade versus some people losing $1 billion, right? Collectively, it's nuts. So here is what the market's going on. Here are the challenges that we're facing right now. This should actually just say Joe Biden is president, just so you know. But also on top of that, the Fed has raised interest rates. Okay, the DXY is at an all-time high. If you don't know what this means, don't worry. I'm going to show you a little bit, and you don't really have to internalize this. So I want to let you know. The Nasdaq is at support and/or resistance. We don't know. I'm going to show you that too. And we have CPI data comes out next week. All right. So next week we have CPI data heading out into the space, and that CPI data is basically inflation data. Okay, that's the data on inflation and where we are. And I think that might come out a little bit better actually than we expect, because Jerome Powell has alluded to it. Okay, so what does all this mean? All right, I want to show you guys something. I want to show you like my charts and what I look at when I'm looking at charts, and just go through this briefly. And this is going to mean more to you towards the end, because you're going to get these kind of charts moving forward inside of the elite section. You guys will see about that. We'll talk about that. But this right here is the DXY. When I say the DXY, I'm talking about the dollar and its strength and how strong the dollar is. Now, when we look at this just from a 10,000 foot view, what we're really saying is, okay, if the dollar is strong, that means Bitcoin will be weaker, right? If the dollar goes up, then Bitcoin will come down. If the dollar comes down, then Bitcoin will go up. Okay, that's what we're looking at. So when we see this, the dollar sitting at a 20-year high, you got to imagine it's very difficult for Bitcoin to go blazing up to the moon, right? Because the dollar is high. Look at these spikes. This is the dollar in 2016. This is it right now. We are at a peak dollar. It's very, very high. It could go higher, and if it does, Bitcoin will go lower. But if it dumps down, then Bitcoin gets to fly up. As a default, no matter what any other chart says, if the dollar goes down, Bitcoin goes up. Okay, period. All right, crazy stuff. So you can basically flip this chart around, and you'll see the price of Bitcoin. Right. So we have to look at how strong is the U.S. dollar and what's happening here. Right. So we have to pay attention to this. So I've watched this thing like a hawk. And again, we are at what you would call resistance, right? Resistance is the ceiling and support is the floor. And so when we're trading, we always want to trade and take shorts at resistance and longs at support. Okay. We'll get into some more of that stuff, but I just want to point out the correlation. Also, I mentioned that the NASDAQ is at support and resistance as well. Why is the NASDAQ important? This is the price of Bitcoin goes and follows the NASDAQ. If the NASDAQ goes up, right, Bitcoin goes up. If NASDAQ goes down, Bitcoin goes down. And this has been our support and resistance line. Our support meaning it's a floor, resistance meaning it's a ceiling. It's hard to go above the resistance, and it's hard to go below the floor, the support. So this is what we're seeing. Okay, and this has been the support and resistance, and we're right at what would be resistance and or could flip into support. So this is kind of where we are with the NASDAQ as well. I just bring this to your attention, guys, and show you this because when I'm looking at any of the macroeconomics of a cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, when I'm looking at it, the 10,000 foot view, if I want to know, hey, are we going to dump down or go up? These are the things that I kind of pay attention to. Okay. All right. Does that mean, is this right now? Are we good, guys? Just making sense so far? Just showing you this stuff, right? I'm just going to show you this is what I'm looking at. Now, if I look at BTC, all right, Bitcoin, all right, oh, I'm going to show you something real quick. All right, this is, you guys have seen this before. I'm about to reshare it. All right, this is a chart that I kind of play on. All right, that I look at when I'm looking at getting into trades. Okay, you can see it. Appreciate you, Rhonda. Appreciate you. So this is what I'm looking at when I look at Bitcoin, right? When I look at the overall macroeconomics of what's happening. This is the daily chart. This is a 1 day in Bitcoin. And I look at this kind of stuff and I draw my little squiggly lines of where my support, the bottom is, and where my resistance is, the top is. And I look at that, and I also look at past volume and where it is. By the way, you guys are going to get access to this exact chart and stuff like that as we move forward. Okay, we're going to get your hands on this probably next week. All right, some specific things I'm showing you, not for signals or indicators, just so you can know where I'm taking trades going up or taking trades going down. Okay, and if you guys want that, let me know. Give me a yes if you guys want this, like a clone of this. Like you just copy a link and boom, it's there. If you guys want that, yeah, because you're going to get your hands on it. So what I've been doing when it comes from a macro standpoint is I've been like taking a short trade whenever it hits this line and a long trade whenever it hits this line. Okay. Now down here, so I would be short, 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 right? Right here gets anomaly. And I'll tell you why I stop right around this area. It's because it gets too close together. It's too bunched up. But I'm also taking a long here, 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 a long here. And that's why on my personal accounts, I'm doing around 1.5 to 2% a day. Again, those results are not guaranteed. I'm going to put up a giant I should have a giant disclaimer tattooed on my forehead. But when I've been trading, luckily enough, right? Luck is nothing more than skill and preparation and a little luck peppered in there. Right? You prepare, and that's going to dictate luck, right? Measure twice, cut once, right? So for those of you who are builders. So when I look at this stuff, what I'm looking at is support and resistance lines. That's it. Everything else can go out the window. Support and resistance lines. Let's see where they are. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they going to hit? Where am I going to hit support? And where am I going to hit resistance? To take the trade going up and take that trade going down, right? That's what I'm looking at, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys these. So you'll have this indicator right here that tells you where volume is or where it's been. So you can see these support and resistance. And you're going to have my squiggly lines drawn out on my chart with EMAs. Okay. You guys will get your hands on this. Okay. Hopefully early next week, you guys will have this. All right. So this is what I'm looking at. And what I'm watching right now, though, is we punched through the bottom of this support. Okay. And just came right down. All right. Now, before that, we went straight up and then we came right down. So right now, I'm hands off for a minute. I'm watching. I want to see where my next support and resistance are. So if you're wondering, like, oh, what are you trading right now, Kevin? I'm not. For right now, I'm watching. I want to watch for my next support and resistance areas to get in. I have an inkling of where they are. However, I want to see what happens on Monday when, like on the last slide said, that CPA data comes out. So I want to see that. But I am not in the camp of we're going to go to 20K or we're going to go to 10K. I get again, when everyone else is in max fear, I tend to get greedy. So you're going to see greedy Kevin come out, right? Not fearful Kevin. If we're at the very top of this market, if we start flying up like this and everyone says we're going to 100K, you're going to see me get a little fearful and not greedy. But we're getting to the area where Kevin, your boy Kevin, is kind of getting a little bit greedy here, all right? And I'm hoping you guys are about to get a little bit greedy too, because some of the stuff that we're doing is going to be pretty cool. Okay, so do me a favor, toss in there if you guys are with me on this. You're getting in that greedy mode. Just toss greedy in the chat, and let's go move on from this section. I just want to give you a 10,000 foot view of where I think the markets are. I think that we have a chance. We have a significant chance of bouncing off of where we are and starting to head back up. All right. There's a lot of good things, and I'll put out some videos on this some more about why I believe that. But the overall macroeconomics of what I'm looking at, everyone's scared. Everyone thinks we're going to the bottom, and everyone is always wrong, right? The masses grouped together are always wrong. So I always kind of watch that, right, to kind of influence my thought and how I look at these things. I remember I look at some of these YouTubers right now that are calling for the bottom of crypto, And then you go back and look at what they were saying when we were at the top of crypto. They were saying we're going 100K, and then we crashed down 40%. So you got to be very careful. Just because somebody says it doesn't mean it's true. And again, I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot as well, right? Obviously, because I'm a human being too. But man, I think that we're going to be, we have some good federal readings that came out. We had actually really good, Jerome Powell came out to Fed meetings last week. It was really good, really positive. He said inflation looks like it's starting to taper off a little bit, right? They're raising interest rates by 0.5% or 50 basis points, right? And the market expected this. And we're not going to go any higher than that, he says. We're not going to raise it 75. Those are all good things for the market. That means the dollar can come down a little bit. That means the markets can recover. So I want to see where this goes, and I want to see what happens, except for Black Monday, holy crap. I want to see what happens when the CPI data comes out next week on Monday, right? I think it's Monday or Tuesday, they're popping out. So once they put that CPI data, I want to see where that is, and then that'll dictate where I really will plant my flag. Right now, I'm still watching, but I'm getting into that greedy mode, okay? So I'm gonna move on from that. Hopefully that wasn't too much. If you guys like that kind of stuff, then you're love some of the stuff I'm gonna be coming out with. But I just really like to give people kind of a 10,000 foot view and say, hey, just have some perspective, back up, and take a look. And you know what I mean? And it's okay to get a little greedy when everyone else is scared. That's the best time. Okay. So let's talk about elite. Who here wants to talk about that? About the elite section, what we got going on? That's the next thing up to talk about. Okay. All right. This is going to be a little bit hairy. There's a bunch of stuff I want to give you like a 10,000 foot view of what we're doing there. See, I think you guys are going to like this. So, all right. I'm going to try to be cool. I'm going to try to be cool, try to be calm. So here's what's going on. First off, in the elite section, we're going to be adding in more sub accounts into Carbon. So for those of you who have been in here, we have like the main, the overflow, right? We have the Beyond the Bot stuff, which that's going to go, there's going to be an overhaul going on that. But we're going to be adding in 2 more sub accounts for this. Okay. For those of you who are at the elite level. All right. And again, I get excited about this, but you should always back up and be a little bit wary, right? I'm not saying like, oh, you're going to get an elite right now. You're not going to hear me say those things. We're all grown adults. We can all make our own decisions, right? But I just want to show you what's going to be in it because I get this question all the time. So 2 sub accounts, we're going to be adding in 2 more sub accounts, and there's a reason why. So first off, has anyone ever wanted to have more sub accounts where you can like connect more accounts into Carbon to test stuff, to do stuff, to take trades, that kind of stuff? If that's you, then you'll like that, right? I should actually say 3 because there's something else going on here. So we're also going to be coming out with multiple trend-based indicators. These are indicators that I've been working on quite like nonstop, kind of feverishly, where they're trend-based indicators. And I'm going to tell you why I'm doing that, okay? I'm going to go pop on in here and show you kind of a side-by-side comparison of what a trend-based indicator looks like, okay? So this right here is an indicator we trade on right now. It's a BNB indicator. This is one of the indicators that we trade on, right? It's on a 2-hour chart, and it opens up and closes trades, and we're looking for a 1% move in the market. This is not a trend-based indicator. This is a, when it's overbought or oversold, you get in. It's a reversion indicator, right? So, yeah, so that's what, oh yeah, you can do whatever you want, Sean. And so that's what this indicator is. And we trade on this, right? But we're looking for like a 1% movement in the markets, okay? And at 10x leverage, okay? At 10x leverage, that's 10% of what you had in that account. That's what we've been doing, right? But I'll show you one of these indicators and what it looks like when we compare that and contrast that with a trend-based indicator, okay? A trend-based indicator has a much lower win rate. We're not trying to go for a 100% win rate. But what we're doing, okay, and this is one, you guys will get your hands on this, all right? What it does is like, oh, here's a loss rate here, right? What it does is you're in trades much longer. You're in trades much longer. But like, for example, if we zoom in on one of these, let's go back and zoom in on one, okay? Let me go zoom in. We're getting in, okay? For example, a short trade right here, okay? And we're following this down as the market comes down. This is in November. Let's go look at what it's doing right now. This screen is flickering at me. 1 minute. There we go. Okay, so let's look at what trade it would be in right now, all right? So from April 19th, you would be in a trade. a long term. This is a longer term trade. This is one of my longer term. Um, this is one of my longer term trend based indicators. So this is looking at, look, we're in a bearish market. It's going to take a short. And once that thing starts getting into profit, this is where you'd be. So this kind of move as you sit in this trade, right, would have you right now at a 12%, 11%, right, on that. So the difference, the fundamental difference between these indicators that I'm coming out with now and the ones that I had is these are fast in and out. And what happens is in these indicators that we're currently trading on, when you get stuck in a trade, it's a bad thing, right? You're like, I'm stuck in this trade. That's a bad thing, right? Because you're just waiting for it to resolve, and it sucks because if the market turns, you can be stuck for a while. And I guarantee everyone on here, when you're stuck in a trade, would love nothing more than to punch Kevin straight in the face. Give me a yes in the chat if that's true. You've had those thoughts. Let me punch that guy in the face. But you can toss it in. It's fine. Yeah, Kevin, I'll punch you in the face. Yeah. Oh yeah. Who said, oh yeah, Mark? So so you get stuck in a trade, you're like, oh, I'd like to punch that guy in the face, right? But when you get stuck in these, it's a much better situation because it usually means you're just waiting to take profit. So I'm doing a couple edits on this, right? Where we're changing the stop loss to get out faster, to move these quicker. So this is what I'm working on. And I finally have had time to really kind of refine some of these. And this is what I'm doing all weekend, right? Is just refining indicators and having fun with settings and tweaking. I think you guys know it probably takes a long time to tweak those. But the question is, if you had these, then what? What do you do? Well, what Adam say? So then, what do you? CJ's gonna punch fist. All right. So what ends up happening here, right? Is when you're stuck in these kind of trades, it usually means you're just winning and you're winning more and more and more until it catches up with you and boom, pops you out of that trade. So I'm making a couple more adjustments to this right here, this section, this trailing stop, because I'd like to cut out a trade quickly if it's going to go against, if it's negative, and get a better position and move back in. So you guys are going to see a lot with this. And some of these indicators are going to be in the Academy side, okay? And then some of these indicators, are going to be in the elite side, right? So that's the way we're going to work it. So we're going to be making a lot of changes when it comes to indicators. Next week, I'll probably do like probably two update webinars, one for everyone in the Academy and then one for everyone in the elite, okay? Yeah, trailing stop loss, Gordon. Yeah, built into the indicator. Yeah. So that's what we're doing, all right? So these indicators are great for those long terms, okay? Appreciate you, Sean. Appreciate you. So that's what we're doing. So that's what we're doing, right? We're bringing out multiple indicators. I've got like 5 of these in the works, and for me, I like to test multiple strategies, tweak them, refine them, and then we put them out there. So it'll probably never stop, right? I'll always have one kind of right around the corner to where you guys can, where we can go ahead and execute it. And I've got a handful of people on a list that I want to test some of these with. So CJ, obviously, you're in that list. I'll be reaching out to you. We got a couple of folks in here that are like that I wanted to go ahead and test some of these. Okay. All right. Yeah, more sub accounts. Okay. Oh, you'll get there, Blake. But in the meantime, it's great because you don't need to, which is great. So here's another thing that we got going into Elite. Okay. New proprietary push button trading software. All right. What does this mean? Well, this allows us to follow people outside of Carbon. Okay. So one thing I can't do as Kevin Hokoana is say, hey guys, you can follow every one of my trades and it's just going to automatically execute and everything's going to be wonderful. I can't do that, right? All of our trades and all of our trade strategies, come from outside sources. When you get into a trade into Carbon, it's coming from TradingView, right? Comes from TradingView. Who's TradingView? Your TradingView, right? If I were to say, hey guys, I'm just going to push all of my trades straight to your account, there's a limit on how many people I can do that with legally, right? So going above that, can't do it. But what we can do is bring in outside traders to go ahead and trade and give you the ability to follow their trades. Ooh. So who here wants to see some of the results from the guy that we're bringing in that in Elite, you'll be able to follow his trades. And let me say this, I say a new proprietary push button software. It's because when I say push button, I mean someone else is pushing the button, right? And it has totally different money management. We're talking about higher leverage. We're talking about stop losses. When it goes negative, it stops you out. And we're talking about dual take profits, multiple take profits. Once the trade gets up to 100% in profit, it closes that out and moves up the stop loss, okay? And then lets it keep going if it can, okay? And I'm going to show you this, and then I should be showing you a disclaimer first, okay? But for those of you watching this, at the end, there will be a big disclaimer, okay? But I'm going to show you this, okay? You guys ready for this? Because this is like, okay. Take a look at this. These are results that were sent to me yesterday. Are you guys seeing this? This is a $4,000 profit. This is a $15,000 profit. That's a $10,000 profit. That's an $11,000 profit. Okay. You guys seeing this? This is 170%, 264, 354, 200. So what happens is in this trading strategy, once it goes, and this is one day on this, and this does take losses, right? This stuff does take losses. So again, the money management is totally different. All right. Totally different than what you're looking at inside of Carbon right now. We had to build an entire new engine to support this, and we've been testing it out for the last month, and we're going to be bringing it down into Carbon Elite. Okay, it's crazy. Now, again, this does take losses. I'm going to show this again. I think I showed this in the last webinar. All right, this account right here, you're talking about 71% win rate. Okay, so you do take losses. You have days where it loses. Okay, and again, this isn't Kevin pushing these in. You guys, those of you in Elite, you're going to have access to this trader. And I think you can see why we probably need to shut it down, right? Probably see why. But I mean, this is a 70% win rate, average win 16K, average loss 2.5K. Again, I'm not issuing these trades. The system's not issuing these trades. This is one of our partners open up these trades outside of Carbon and being pushed in. In Elite, you'll be able to subscribe to this, right? So if you're an Elite, you'll be able to get this, okay? I think this was 100K balance, right? And then it took losses after this. So this balance went down and then recovered towards the end of the month type stuff. All right. Okay. So again, this is why I'm always saying, like, I'm trying to just be cool, trying to be calm, right? Everybody put calm in the chat. We just got to stay calm. But I get excited with this stuff because I know what the track record is and what can happen. All right. So another thing, okay, is this. Those are the charts that I showed you earlier, where you're going to get access to them. You'll be able to right click on a lot of these charts that I send you and just have those trades open up. So I'm going to show you what we're doing. So we're giving you guys a way to do this right here. So when we get into my charts, all right, and mine are definitely not as impressive as what you just saw, okay? But when we get into my charts, okay, and I say, hey guys, whenever we touch this line, I'm taking a trade down. When I give you these charts and update them in real time and push them out to you, right? Then you can just right click on here and you can create an alert now. You'll be able to push it into Carbon and open that trade, okay? You'll be able to open that trade. Let me back up and answer a question. To follow the one-time push, no, you just basically put in your information, hit submit. And that's what I mean by push button. You don't have to push a button, right? I probably should have phrased that better. So on this though, when you're following my stuff, when I give you these charts, you guys will be able to come in here, right click on this inside Elite and just go add alert. And then take a short whenever it touches this, and then take a long whenever it touches that. And then you'll get an update from me in a private chat that says, hey, I'm not trading on this. It's getting too tight. So up here, I'll trade on it. But you got to imagine, once it gets to around this area here and on, I stop because it's getting too tight. So you don't have to know. I mean, you'll have training on this, but basically it'll just be me popping in the chat going, hey guys, I would disable those alerts, right? And so you'll be able to set up alerts, kind of chill out, let it do its thing. Obviously, they're your charts I'm giving you. They're originating from you, right? It's just that I'm giving you a share button to clone them, copying them, and you'll be able to send the signal off into Carbon to open and execute the trade, okay? Yeah. No. So this is what we're doing. Okay. So that's what we got going on. That's how you'll be able to do this. And again, this is why I say that this is more hands-on, because you might get a message in our chat, right? In a specific chat we'll be in, where I'm like, hey, you might want to go ahead and stop, right? Don't let that indicator go through. That's why this says more hands-on. I'm looking, because I'll look at it and I'll be like, hey, stop, turn those alerts off, right? So there we go. All right. All right. So that's where we are. Okay. And this is some of my results over the last just couple of weeks, taking trades, doing that as well. Okay. This is what we're looking at. I mean, some of the trades that I'm getting, because I'm not going for 1%, like some of these trades I'm going for 100% move. You know what I mean? This one is 20%, 52 or 5, right? I'm not sure where these ended. I just kind of snapshotted them as they were going, right? So I don't like keep a log of every single trade. Carbon does that for me, right? So I don't have to. But yeah, I just kind of like watch them, open them up, set my take profits on them. And sometimes I'll see what the markets are doing and I'll make them variable. For those of you who are into that kind of stuff, you'll be able to do that. Okay. We don't need to do trades automatically. No, it would be automatically. It's kind of semi-automatically. So let me say that again. You'll basically, when I give you a chart, I'm looking for support and resistance lines. You right click on it, whenever it hits this, take a short. Whenever it hits this, take a long. That's what I do when I manually trade, right? So you guys will be able to follow along with that. And it's semi-automated because once I see a trend forming, you're usually going to hit that thing like 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So that's what we do, okay? And yeah, you can practice on it for sure, definitely. Just open it up, send a trade in, like set your percentage at like 0.5%, put $100 in the account, see what it does. So there we go. So who likes that? Who wants to do this? Actually, this part right here, right? Having that, just this, following my stuff, having that push button stuff. It's pretty cool, right? It's pretty crazy. So this is where we're headed. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about, guys, was prepping for the end, right? I want to talk about prepping for the end. This right here. Here's a couple things that we're doing inside of Carbon that we're trying to speed along right now. One, we have a lot of system upgrades happening in the background. And so you might see us pausing stuff, unpausing stuff, and doing a bunch of things because we're making a lot of system upgrades that allow us to do these kinds of things, allow us to push through these trades, allow us to have this software that can execute for you guys, allow you to be able to follow my trades, just all this stuff, right? And we've updated the entire engine, the entire trade execution engine. So before we upgraded this, it would take anywhere from 5 to 12 seconds for us to catch a trade, process it, and send it out, right? And then you're waiting on Bybit to do its thing, and so on and so forth. So one of the upgrades that we did was we have revamped that entire system, and now we're down to under a second of time it takes for us to catch a trade, process it, and push it out, okay? And we can do more faster. So we end up doing that upgrade. That's been a massive upgrade for us. And that right there alone will speed up how fast trades are able to execute, and we can have more trades executing at the same time. We're still stuck with limitations on Bybit side, but I'm going to show you how we're going to alleviate that as well. But yeah, massive system upgrades going on. On top of system upgrades that we have going on, we're actually bringing in BitGet. So right now we are using Bybit, right? For those of you who've been around for a while, we used to use Binance. We got off of Binance, we went to Bybit. And what we're looking at now is having a mix of Binance or Bybit and BitGet. Why BitGet? Okay, and I'm not saying go run out there and sign up for it now. There'll be tutorials and we'll have all this integrated. It'll take a little bit for us. We're working on it now. But for those of you who are in the United States, you'll be able to use BitGet without a VPN. Okay, they are registered in the United States. So if you're in the US and you're always like, man, I got to go on a freaking VPN to do this, those days are going to come to an end. And you'll be able to switch on over to BitGet and get rid of your VPNs, okay? You won't need them. And so you don't have to worry about it, okay? Now, on top of that, for those of you who are on Bybit, I'm going to run both, actually, for me personally. But if I was in the United States, I would switch on over to BitGet once we push that out, okay? And for those of you who are international, I would stay on Bybit, Okay. So we'll talk more about that. Right. I'm running some tests on there and we're doing some stuff. One of the things is we had to make sure that that it could actually do the things we needed to do, that it could change leverage mid trade, so on and so forth. Right. It has to be able to perform the way we need it to perform. And Bybit was the only one thus far that could do it. Okay. So that's what we're looking at. Okay. Yeah. So I see people tossing stuff in there. Don't go sign up for it. Or, well, you can do whatever the hell you want to. It's up to you. But I mean, I'll be doing some tutorials on it. What's Malcolm Wallace? What is up, man? Yeah, love this guy. Hashtag Malcolm for the win, right? Appreciate you. So this is what we're going to be doing a lot on BitGet. So that's what we're going to be doing with the US stuff. And a couple weeks out, hopefully we'll have that up and running on BitGet. So there's where we're going. As far as the community and what we're doing with community, okay, no KYC required. Joshua, you're good. For the community, okay, we're actually going to be nuking the Facebook group. Okay, we're nuking it. Telegram chats, I don't go in there anyway. It's too much. So I don't really have time. We're going to be nuking that. Like pretty much everywhere we're communicating, right? We're all over the place. And what ends up happening is you got Facebook going on, you got Telegram going on. We have there's Discord channels happening, there's Slack groups and all that kind of stuff. And while those all independently can be good, my problem with that is there's 18 different ways to get in touch with me, and I can't pay attention to any of them, right? And I feel like the community itself is fractured. Like we are in a place where you don't even know where to go to get information, except for possibly the Telegram update channel, right? You guys feeling that way too? So what we're doing is we're building. We're almost done with this. Okay, I say we're building. We built. We built our own community inside of Carbon, where you can make posts and do all the stuff you can do in like a Facebook group and all that kind of stuff, right? And also we have chat functionality, so we'll be able to chat, and I can push out notifications to you, and you can get all the information from everybody else. So we're bringing everything in house, right? We don't want to be fractured and have communities happening outside of Carbon itself, right? In the Facebook groups and over here and over there, because people are like, oh, I read you need to do this. Well, where'd you read that? Oh, in a Facebook post or in a Facebook chat or on a comment somewhere, and it's like, no, don't do that. No, that's not, you're right. So I want to make sure that we're all in one spot and we can have our own place, and it'll be inside of Carbon. So if you guys cool with that, let me know. Okay. Yes, for members only, because I mean, that's all we're going to have, right? Is members only. I mean, once we shut it, yeah, it's just going to be us anyway. So yeah, there's no like non-members allowed. If you're not an active member, you just can't log into Carbon, and you can't access those, right? That's what we're doing. Okay. So that's what we're up to. Collaboration. I realize that I'm very, very, very acutely aware that I don't know what I don't know. Okay. So I'm going to be doing some collaboration with some members that are doing some really, really cool things, that are doing some high level masterminds. I say this and I'm speaking this out into the world, but the reality is that we haven't talked about it, but we will. I'm sure it'll happen because they're awesome. So we got some members that are doing some really unique kind of cool things out in the crypto space, and during a bull run, they absolutely crush, because there's more ways than one to make money in crypto. So I want to bring some of those people in to, a lot of them are already in Carbon, but I want to bring them in to help us get better in certain areas where I feel that I am weak at. Okay. Where I'm like, hey, I don't know enough in that section or that area to be of any value to anybody, except for to be dangerous and probably steer them down the wrong path. So I want to bring in people that can fill in those holes, in those gaps, and bring in some folks that I look up to in those different spaces. When it comes to yield farming and some of these really cool things that are out there that you guys will be able to, to get your hands on, and just at least get the education in the community and the mastermind aspect of it. So yeah. Okay. And yes, there are those commissions, Christopher. Absolutely. So yeah. Oh, can you guys hear me? Am I good? Yeah. I just had a thing saying I was muted. That was weird, but I wasn't. Okay. Cool. So that's what we're doing is we're going to be doing some collaboration. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be in appropriate areas of the system because the way we're setting up the community is if you're in one section, then you'll be in that chat and you'll be in that area where you can make those posts and do all that stuff. And they'll be specific. So yeah, more to come on this, but this is kind of some of the stuff that we're doing. We're trying to get a lot of the system upgrades that we're doing done over the next week, moving into next week. And then there's a couple of them that will be like 2 or 3 weeks out. But yeah, a lot of system upgrades happening. The community aspect of it, I want to bring it all in. I'm not a fan of Facebook. All right. I don't like Facebook groups. I don't like the Facebook chat. I don't like any of these chats, really, to be quite honest with you. But especially Facebook, I can't stand it because it's just, you're looking at one thing and getting sidetracked with all the ads on the side and then what's happening with politics in your family and whatever's going on. Not a good place to learn. And some of our members outright won't go on there. They're like, I'm not in the Facebook group, Kevin. Just don't care. I get it. I understand. Right. So just want to bring you guys up to that. There'll be more on this in bite-sized videos as we roll some of this stuff out. Good for you. Good for you, Bernard. So that's what we're looking at. Okay. Now I want to talk about real quick the real opportunity and what we're doing here inside of Carbon. Okay, and where this is headed. All right. Now, some of you you're at various levels of knowledge in crypto. Some of you are brand new, and some of you have been around the block and done a lot of things, right? Peter said carbon book. So here's what we're doing. We are going to be, and this is something when we first launched Carbon. All right, and I'll give you a little bit of what's happening here. We first launched Carbon. One of the first things I did, and I said, hey, this is what we need, is I always knew going into this that we would need our own crypto wallet. We would need our own crypto currency, and that we want it to be powering Carbon itself. Okay, so just listen to that statement. What we built and what we've been working on since day one is our own Carbon token. Okay, and it's powering Carbon itself. So when you look at cryptocurrencies, they have to have a use. They have to have a utility, something that they do. What do they do? Why does your cryptocurrency exist, sir? Why? So what we did was we built one that powers Carbon. All the trades that you take on Carbon are using that coin. Interesting, right? We have a utility. We have a group of people, a community, members that are taking trades, having trades execute things that are upgrading, updating, all these things that are happening on Carbon. When your money management changes, when it goes to a new stage, when a trade executes, that's all going to be using our tokens. Okay. So what do you do with that? Okay. What do you do with that? When you have a utility token like that is actually going to be being used and being spent. Well, it's going to generate fees in those token. Who here's familiar with liquidity platforms? Okay. Oh, did I lose you guys? Did I lose you guys? I got you back for a sec. Okay. I just saw a thing pop across. So here's what we've been doing. Okay. We've been building out, and I'm not sharing my screen on this, right? This is stuff I don't want to show quite yet. All right. It's gone for 2 seconds. Okay. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So we built out a token and it's powering Carbon. Okay. All the transactions that happens, it uses that token. Now, what we do whenever you're looking at tokens and liquidity pools and all these things, the way that you can take a coin or a token from very low numbers all the way up to very high numbers, from 20 cents up to $50, is by 2 things. One, having a use for it, and two, having liquidity for it. Okay. If you're not familiar with what liquidity is, who here's familiar with that? Give me a yes if you're familiar with what liquidity is. Give me a no if you're not. Just curious. Okay, so a lot of people are. Wow, surprise. Okay, a lot of people are. So in a 10,000 foot view, what happens in liquidity is, let's say I want to go ahead and buy Ethereum, right? If I'm buying Ethereum, there doesn't have to be somebody on the other end selling it to me, because there's a liquidity pool, meaning that somebody took one coin and paired it with another, and that's providing liquidity. I'll do entire training on this. So if you're like, what is that? Don't worry about it. So kind of a hard concept to wrap your head around. I'll dumb it down and make it simple, because I had to dumb it down for myself and make it simple. Okay. But back in 2019, I was actually launching, okay, it'll be a stable coin, Malcolm. I was actually launching a coin, okay, and we went ahead and had to get liquidity for it. And that took me to Hong Kong, Macau, Singapore, and South Korea. I had to go to these places to do the liquidity. Nowadays, that's done by average people. That's called DeFi, decentralized finance. That's what DeFi is, okay? So we built out a platform that anyone can go ahead and become a liquidity provider for it. What they would do is they would send in USDC, okay, into their wallet, and it automatically gets broken up into Carbon Coin, USDC, and paired. And that's providing liquidity. And now you get rewards every time a transaction is happening on Carbon. And you can immediately take those rewards and turn them back into USDC and stick them in your pocket. Okay? That's what we're doing. So we basically looked at, how do we reverse engineer a way to take a token from 10 cents up to $20? How does that process work? And we worked back from there. Okay? And we've set up a system to be able to do that. Okay? Pretty crazy. Yeah, Chad says all others are trying to find utility. You started with it. Yes, sir. And this is why I've always said, like, I'm always like, oh, I'm always conscious. We only go so far. We can only have so many people. Okay? Because once we get to a point, everybody in Carbon is going to have the opportunity to be able to do this first. And then we can roll it out to the masses by using our own wallet. For those of you who've used wallets, we have our own Carbon wallet. You guys will get your hands on it. You'll be able to download it. And for those of you who have referred people into Carbon, if that's you, give me a me. If you've referred people into Carbon. If you've ever referred anybody into Carbon, give me a me. Okay. So we're talking about liquidity pools. And again, I'm gonna get into this stuff. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, you're probably like, what the heck is happening here? Liquidity pools. So when you referred somebody into Carbon, they're automatically in your pool. And if they referred somebody and they referred somebody and they referred somebody, they're automatically in your pool. It's in a pool. And you will get paid on those transactions, on the gains that those people make. They make money, you'd make money. They have they're making money because they went ahead and created their liquidity pool. Maybe they sent a couple $100, $1,000, whatever they put in there, right, to provide liquidity to Carbon, to our token. That is giving us the ability to expand. That is raising the price. We are thankful for this. And all of the things that happen on Carbon, all of the transactions, all these things that happen when they're generating those fees, they go right to those people that have those coins in their liquidity wallet. And you, having them in your pool, also get a percentage of that. And what you can do is immediately turn that into USDC immediately if you want to. So you're not stuck with a coin or a token that can't do anything for you. I'm sure everyone's been in that situation, right? If I gave you 1,000,001 of who gives a crap coin, there's nothing you can do with it. There's no liquidity there. You can't even sell it if you want to. This is what we're doing. So for those of you who know this stuff, this area, and kind of, I'm trying to speak to folks who haven't really had any experience with any of this. For those of you who have, and you know about liquidity pools, scale of 1 to 10, how crazy is it that we started with a platform to generate the utility for it first? Then we're launching the wallet and the pool. And oh, by the way, all you have to do is send in one currency pair and it automatically binds those two together without you having to send in both and click the button, right? It's going to be crazy. So when I tell you hey guys, we have a legacy play, right? We have a legacy play where I'm talking to some of the members and I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand how much money is going to be made in this platform for members. Like you don't, it's hard for me to explain it to you. And I've always kind of stepped around it. When people are like, how much money can I make with a system? Well, give us a couple months and you'll see, it's been hard, and it's still hard to kind of put the stuff out there, but we'll go ahead and yeah, we'll go ahead and do some training on this, show you guys what liquidity pools are, how it works, how all this stuff works in Carbon. But it'd be crazy. Glenn, yeah, actually. Yeah. Yep. That's in the works too. Yeah, hack prevention. Yeah, it's in your own wallet, your own decentralized wallet. This is all decentralized. It's crazy. So this is what we're up to. Okay. Absolutely, all DeFi. This is why when we were in a bull run, I wasn't worried about putting it out there. But now that we're in a bear market, when this thing turns, let me just look in my face when I tell you this. Okay. When the markets turn, these rising tides are going to raise all ships. And the question is, if you were to go buy Bitcoin right now at these low prices, right, and it goes in doubles, you would be thrilled. Yeah. But while that's happening, you're going to have other coins and other tokens out there that are going to 5x, 10x, 20x, 100x, 50x, 1300x, right? You guys see that stuff. We want to be one of those. We want to be one of those. So we spent the last year on the trading side building all this stuff out, right? Building out our community, building out our people, making sure that we have a family here, okay? And then we're able to go. Doesn't need to be. Christopher says, hey, is it registered with the SEC or anything? Yeah, that's why it has to be a utility token. So there's a big difference between utility tokens and security offerings. It has to do something, right? It has to have a utility to it. If it doesn't, it's a security offering, and that means, well, it's a problem. That's why the SEC likes to go off their stable coins and all these other coins that don't really do anything, right? So there we are, okay? Oh, Ricardo's the man. Ricardo Crooks? Yeah, that's my dude right there, okay? Love that guy. All right. Anyway, so yeah, so I think that actually brings us to our not so long-winded thoughts. Kind of already put them out there. Hopefully they weren't. What time is it, guys? How much time have we had? Again, I didn't want this to be ridiculously long. Okay. All right, about an hour. Cool. How are you going to prevent bots from messing up your tokenomics? We don't go public with it yet. We build out the liquidity first and then we go, right? So the liquidity is not there yet. We want to make sure we have the liquidity there first, and we control how much we pump out there, because those bots are dangerous, Nate. They will crush you, and they'll tank your coin in a day. You got to be very careful. A little bit different, Joshua, but yeah, we'll see it. I like to incorporate some of working on it. Appreciate you, Frankie. It's good to see you on here, Frankie. It's good to see you. How you been, man? How's your health, buddy? Are you good? I tell you what, Frankie's one of the most inspirational people you're going to meet, guys. Just adversity this man has overcome to get where he is. It's just, I get like my eyes start turning up a little. Okay, just yeah, and I know it's just amazing. You're just an awesome dude. He's just an awesome dude. Such a positive attitude. Just yeah. All right. Anyway, appreciate you, man. I just appreciate you being here. Dunkin' Donuts. Oh yeah, let me show you guys something. Okay. Let me go up here. So, Elite. Let me go pop in here. I'm gonna unfreeze this. I'm trying to pull something up. So right now, you guys can actually bring people into Elite and earn a commission on it. And actually, let's talk about upgrades, because people are always asking, hey, what's the price? And I've said this before. I'll put some stuff out on it, and we'll do a webinar probably Monday. I think Monday is when we'll do the webinar, because there's going to be a lot to go over when it comes to Elite. and I want to get you guys up to speed on all the things that we're doing in there. And you'll probably be able to upgrade. I'm assuming Monday, possibly Tuesday. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sharing the screen. I just got that turned off. So I'm not going to share it. So what you'll be able to do is if you are a VIP member, then you'll just be able to upgrade, and the elite cost is actually double from what you came in. So if somebody came in for 2,000 or for 1,000, it's 2,000, right? It's double that, and it's double the monthly. So if you came in at VIP level, that means you came in at 2K. So there's no payment there to be made initially, right? There'll be an annual, and we'll put that on a chart and have it out. But initially, there'll be nothing there to pay for you because you already paid $2,000 right then and there, right? So there's that. But there is $100 a month. Okay, it's $100 a month to be in it. For those of you in our, yeah, I'll say that. So we got that. For those of you that came in, you're in the academy. It was $1,000 to get in, right? And it was $50 a month. It's double that, right? So you just upgrade for the 1,000, and then it's $100 a month. So that's how we go. And that's about the gist of it. Anyone that's coming in that's new, that hasn't been here for a long time, because those of you who have been in, that's what I'm talking to now. What we do is when they come in, they're joining that Carbon, but they're basically paying for the year up front, right? $2,000, and then it's the monthly all compressed and up front, and then the $200 to get started up. Okay. I love you guys. I appreciate you. The future in Carbon is insanely bright. I will be putting this in the back office. I promise you I'll get that up there. And I'll post in the Telegram update channel that we're eventually going to be nuking that, hey, here's the update. Okay. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Yeah, and I'll see you on the next one. I will be putting out some update videos and stuff. I got a lot of things going on. And my schedule is slowing down a little bit as we ease on into being done with the founders or with the shareholders calls. I love you guys. We're going to be done with those. We're almost done with those. I'm going to a few more left. We can roll that out. And that's been taking up a lot of my time, which means it frees up a lot of time to where I can do update videos with you guys and all that kind of stuff and do more webinars. Again, my sincerest apologies to those of you that have been like, hey, where are the updates? What's going on, Kev? And I've been behind on stuff. It crushes me not to be getting these updates and get on calls with you guys. I love you. And I'm glad that we're in a position where we can start doing that, okay, moving forward. So yeah, almost there. I feel like we're at like a finish line, and then we start the next race. That's where I think Carbon is, okay? We're at the finish line, and then we start the next race, and it's a marathon, okay, guys? Love you, appreciate you. If you need anything, let me know. I'm here for you, and